I've been an introvert for my entire life, and I've recently gained a mini reputation as an extrovert. So I want to show you exactly how I did it so you can do it too and become more social. So if you don't know, but you probably do if you watch this, an introvert is somebody who not necessarily can't talk to people. That's a different thing. Most people mistake the two. An introvert is somebody who can talk to people, but when they do, in social settings, for example, they find it draining. I could be the life of a party despite being an introvert. However, in the middle of the party, I'll just be tired and I'll kind of want to go home just because of that nature. An extrovert is the polar opposite of an introvert. An extrovert is somebody who gains energy through being social and talking to people. So if you imagine this as kind of like a bar of energy, an introvert, the bar goes lower when he's talking to people. An extrovert, it's the reverse. And then an introvert, when he's alone, he starts gaining more energy, kind of revitalizes his energy bar when he's alone. An extrovert, again, the opposite. He loses energy when he's alone. I think that most people in the world lean towards being introverted, but also have some extroverted traits. Now, a limiting belief that you may have is thinking that being an introvert means you can't talk to people. And as we just discussed, that's not what being an introvert means at all. I just want to clarify that. It's not that you're an introvert so you can't talk to people. That's not it. You can't talk to people and you use the excuse that you're an introvert. It's a limiting belief where you believe a certain thing, and because you believe that, it makes it so you can't do what you want to do. So I want to clarify. You can talk to people, you can be the social guy in the party, in the club, wherever you go. And so, I'm not going to lie, it is draining. Every time I go to the gym, I try and talk to as many people there. But every time I am going, I kind of feel this sense of dread. I don't really want to talk to people, I'd like to just sit in silence. But at the same time, despite being an introvert, you do need social connection, and you will only get that if you go out of your way, despite your nature to not want to do that, and go out and talk to people. So you can talk to people, and there's nothing stopping you. So I'm going to explain exactly how you can do that. Just in case you do want to speed up this entire process of learning how to talk to people, I do have a social protocol course in the description where you can kind of learn exactly all of the tips and rules that I've set out for myself to actually talk to people from level 0, where you can't talk to anyone, to level 2, where you can talk to any man at any time, no matter what. So socializing isn't actually the problem, because you can do it. I have tons of videos explaining exactly how to socialize, so you can watch them after this. But the main problem is that when you do try to socialize, or when you want to socialize, you feel the sense of dread more than fear. You just don't want to. It just feels tiring. And I've been there. But there is one thing that I've learned that can make it so incredibly frictionless to actually go up and talk to someone. So here's what it is. It's getting deep conversations. Now I know it sounds a little cliche, but it's the truth. If you don't have deep, very intimate conversations with people, where you reveal things that maybe you wouldn't talk about to others, or you or you discuss topics that maybe people normally wouldn't want to discuss. When you do that and you learn about each other and you have this really nice and deep conversation, it kind of really fulfills that part of you that yearns for social interaction. Because when you just have small talk with tons of people, like in a party, it just does drain you. And I'm just telling you right now, if you go to a party or a club or a nightclub as an introvert, you'll just feel drained. That's just the truth. But in general, in actual waking life, when you're actually going to talk to somebody, you shouldn't do it with the intention of, I'll just go and have a short conversation with this person, because that's draining. Small talk for people like us is just tiring. You need deep conversations where you discuss topics that are interesting to you. So here's how you're going to do that. First of all, you need to understand the concept of social gravity. So for example, imagine you're talking to somebody and you're kind of just having this small discussion about something you don't care about, like some video game. You need to be able to kind of realize that and sift the conversation so it's something that you're more pulled towards. Because a conversation, in hindsight, is literally just two people agreeing to discuss something. If someone tries to talk about video games and you don't want to, you can literally just ignore that conversation because you don't want to talk about it. You can literally, here's something that I do. I literally just ask a deep question. I say, what are you grateful for today? It's a weird question to ask somebody who you've never met, but it works and it makes it very easy to deviate into deep conversations, right? If you ask somebody, what are you grateful for? And they actually start thinking and they aren't like an idiot, then they'll think, what am I grateful for? I mean, my family. If I didn't have a family, if I was an orphan, then life would be so much more difficult. I can't really fathom the idea of not having parents who care about you. Then you get into this deep conversation and it's nice because I'd say that introverts do actually gain energy from being social, but in a different way from extroverts. Talking to tons of different people in this social setting, that's draining. But talking to one person in this very close conversation is something that will give you energy. That's something I've realized myself. So you need to have more of these conversations where you talk about what you are socially attracted to. How do you manipulate this social gravity to have deep conversations? It does take a lot of practice and it's something I even sometimes struggle with. But you need to be able to be in a conversation, think to yourself, wait a second, I don't really care about this topic. And you need to literally just ask a question or deviate the conversation without really caring about what the other person thinks. That's the only way you're going to do that. And it's going to seem a little rude, so it's going to be difficult because you have these social filters applied to you, so you don't really want to be rude to people because it's not socially acceptable. You kind of need to break out of that spectrum of people who just can't do what they want to do. You need to be the one guy, the dog chasing the barn of sheep. You need to be the one person who is not following social norms, and you need to just be able to have a conversation and swap the topic entirely. One more tip that I think is very important is giving validation. And this is kind of a manipulative tactic, so you may not want to do this. But essentially, how it works is when somebody does something that you like, you kind of compliment them. It doesn't even need to be a compliment. You can just show that you're being way more attentive. So if somebody is talking about something you don't like, so you'll just act normal. But then when someone is talking about something you're interested in, then so that you're really listening. You can be like, You can smile. You can be happy, like, yes, they're talking about what I want to. You can compliment them. Wow, you do go to the gym? Wow, I can see that you have huge muscles. Yeah, I can see that, bro. And this is something that you'd normally do with women, but it does actually work with men as well, which is a common misconception. So, in general, when someone does something you like, you want to validate them. And it is, again, if you're constantly doing it, it does kind of seem like manipulation. But screw it, humans are literally creatures who discuss and talk to each other through manipulation. Everything is manipulation. This video is manipulation. I'm convincing you by giving you these tips. I'm hoping that you realize the utility of these tips and realize, wait a second, this Prince guy is actually saying something pretty useful. And then you go to the top link in the description and you click on the social protocol and you're like, I wonder what else I could get from him. And you buy it, and then I make a profit and you make a profit in not money terms, but in your social life, and we both gain. This is manipulation. So, do you think I'm a bad person for recording this video now? Of course, maybe. Sucks to be you then. But the point is, you shouldn't really let manipulative tactics try and draw you off from the main point, which is actually having deep conversations so you can fulfill your social desire without being drained. I hope this helps, and remember, consistency is over a lifetime. Bye bye.